For the longest time, I avoided drawing side profiles. I struggled to understand how to actually draw the lips, eyes, and facial features from this perspective. But everything changed for me when I started using cheese in my drawings, and I know that sounds insane. I promise I'll make it make sense in a moment, because in this video I'll share with you my 3-step process to draw your character side profiles with the help of this silly simple but effective technique I like to use to achieve that natural look we all fight for. For context, since 2019 to this day, I only have these drawings to show for where I actually draw character side profiles. They're not terrible, but they're not great either. Each one took me hours to figure it out, and that's time I could have spent solving other important things like values, composition, shapes, or even gesture. I've been trying consistently since 2019, and while I was getting more confident with portraits, especially the amazing 3/4 view, which I love, I knew it was time to challenge myself again. So after a lot of trial and error, here's the process I now follow to get me from here to here. Step 1 is construction. Because to start, we must have a solid foundation that will help us address most of the common mistakes that we tend to make when drawing faces from this perspective. And what we need are these two shapes, an oval and this thing we'll use for the jawline. I don't have a name for it yet. Together, these two will make our building blocks for the head. After having that in place, the next very important thing to do is to add dimensionality. This way, we have more information to figure it out where to place the facial features later on. And for this, I like to simplify the SR head to get these two planes, which for me is more than enough since I'm going for art that's more on the cartoony side of things, and I don't need the rest of the information right now. This is very important for me to see where to place the eyes, like in this eye socket here, and also to know where the hairline is going to be. At the end, we should get something like this. With these foundations established, it's time to go for the cheese. So step 2 is the cheese trick. You see, eyes are mostly rounded, right? They are like spheres. When you look at someone's profile, the eye will still be rounded, but simply drawing the same sphere we do for the front view just won't work here. You can immediately tell there's something wrong with the face you draw. If we look back to our SR head ref, we can see that the eyes are tucked inside the head and that there's also eyelids surrounding a portion of the eyes. So in order to create this illusion of perspective, we use cheese wedges. Triangles are not really the move here since all sides are flat. But if you think about a cheese wedge, especially and more specifically from this angle, they have the perfect shape to mimic the perspective of the eye seen from the side. They are also a reminder that despite being covered by the eyelids, the eye we draw is still a sphere. Cheese wedges can also be useful to roughly map out the rest of the features, like this. In this way, we make sure the nose sticks out of the face, and we even add dimensionality to the lips so they don't look flat. So instead of overthinking what the eye looks like from the side, we use this shortcut to quickly convey and communicate the perspective more effectively, because I think that ultimately that's the secret to really sell the idea of a true side profile. By the way, in the description of this video, you'll find an interactive resource you can download to use as a guide to study your own side profiles. Now, back to the video. Step 3 and our final step, it's all about bringing the character out of the base, just as a sculptor would do. Sort of. Since most of the problems have been addressed in the first 2 steps, we just need to carve out the features of our character. For this, I help myself by observing lots of references to try catching the general idea of different eyes, mouth types, noses, and so on. Keep in mind that varying the sizes of cheese wedges can help you come up with different faces like this. I really like this process because it's simple to customize and easy to remember in a way, at least for me. And I know there's no one size fits all when it comes to making art, but for me this method is what got me from avoiding this perspective because I couldn't understand it to actually enjoying making and creating side profile heads. Here are some final tips to get your characters look even better. The lips can be super frustrating to draw, trust me, I know. But my suggestion is that you take the cheese wedge from step 2 and draw 2 more shapes inside it, and after that you can either keep a fully drawn lips or just go for the outside contours. Starting for references, it's also great to understand how to draw different types of lips, and I know that sounds basic and obvious, but trust me, this really works. For the eyebrows, remember the 2 planes from before, just use them to describe the plane change so the eyebrow is not just flat and floating around the face in a weird way. Finally, shortcuts are fun and helpful, but learning the basics takes you where the real growth happens. So don't skip them. Don't forget to grab your side profiles templates because it's all yours to play around and use for your own studies. And because I want you to leave this video feeling hopeful and good about yourself, here's a compilation of the bad art I ended up making while crafting this video, because one cannot escape that. Being good at art is not about winning all the time. Remember to enjoy the process and don't take each line too seriously, because ultimately, bad drawings are our best teachers. If you would like to support the channel, you know the usual suspects. Like the video, drop a comment if this helped you in any way, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. This is Lara signing off, and I hope to see you on the next one.